This is the Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, on Talk Radio 570 KBI. Now, back to the show with local mortgage and finance expert, Tina Mitchell.
Welcome back to the Money Hour with your host and mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell, right here on 570 KBI. Each week, I share expert advice and inside knowledge on today's events and our local economy that can affect your money. In studio right now, Tyler Freed, Windermere Real Estate. Everything real estate and what has made him so successful in his real estate practice. Tyler has been in real estate for the last 10 years, and he grew up around real estate with his dad being in business for the past 30 years. Tyler is currently the branch manager at the Bonnie Lake office. In 2011, he partnered up with Windermere Relocation, where he helps employees relocate in and out of the Puget Sound area. In 2012, Tyler became a Zillow Premier agent, specializing on the east side, right where I'm at. Now he works with Zillow on their foreclosure program, helping buyers understand how distressed inventory works and how to buy real estate-owned properties and short sales. I am so excited to have you here, Tyler. I'm going to keep a little secret until we get a little further in this segment, but thank you so much for joining me in studio and your wealth of information, sharing it with my listeners.
Thanks for having me, Tina. Great show you got here.
Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and just start out. I know that you have had huge success in a lot of areas in your real estate practice, and I want to start out with Brokers Open. And first of all, explain what a Broker Open is to my listeners, as well as share some tips there.
Definitely. You have to have a Brokers Open when you list a property. You want to have the agents that are selling homes in the area get through the home. So you have to entice them by doing different things, and we do some really fun stuff to get agents through there. So they're very vital to helping get the agents out there that are really selling the homes to tour the home.
Okay, Taylor, and I know that there are some really special things, and you create some excitement and contests. You have to maximize the success, and ultimately what you're doing in maximizing the success, you're maximizing the success of selling that property. So if you're listening right now and you need a good agent to represent on the listing side, this is what it takes. It takes creativity to maximize the dollars. And you may be thinking, well, gosh, people that are listing your homes, they're getting them sold in no time. Yeah, maybe, but don't you want to make sure that you're maximizing the price and the opportunity in this market? So I would love for you to share, Tyler, your cash balloon pops and guess the final sales price contest that you have.
Yeah, so we try to make it fun, try and get as many people through there. So what we've had luck with is doing a cash balloon pop. So I'll fill up 20 to 30 balloons and put various, $5 bills, $10 bills, $20 bills, $1 bills in there, and have them tour the home, have some food for them there, and then just get some pricing feedback from them, any suggestions they have to help the home sell better, and they're touring the home, and then they pop the balloons, and the people that win the $20 bills are screaming and hooting and hollering, and the $1 ones don't have the same effect, but it gets people there excited. So it's pretty fun. And
that's awesome. And I would imagine with all of the, the online and advertising that you've got these things that you're advertising these contests. So it does make it fun. I mean, if you're going to go out and look at houses, it would be a lot of fun to actually go out and look at ones where there's a little action happening and having some fun and some possible money that they can win.
Yeah, it's good to offer something. We also do guess the sales price. I saw this on $1 Million Listing years ago, and we have a big trifold board where we have people pin up their business cards and guess what the final sales price is going to be. And whoever's the closest to that, we send them a $100 Visa card. So that's been pretty effective too.
That is awesome. Now, I also have to say congratulations, because you've got an upcoming appearance on HDTV for Sales of Two Cities. And it's exciting because for this appearance in this show, they're doing a comparison with you for Seattle versus our national numbers. Can you share what's going to happen on this show? What's that all about?
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting show. There's a lot of house hunter shows out there, and kind of similar philosophy, except it took buyers that I had sold a house up to in Queen Anne and showed what you could get over here for $400,000. And then there's also a realtor in Nashville that did the same thing. So you could kind of compare their market to our market. So it was fun to get out there and it's so much filming for such little time, but it was pretty cool to show the difference between, we looked at a place in West Seattle, townhouse in Queen Anne, and then a condo in Eastlake. So what
is the time for this? Is it 30 minutes or the show?
It actually, so it'll actually be about 12 to 15 minutes of actual airtime, but it was 3 days of filming. So
that is so awesome.
Yeah.
So also just like me, I mean, you're passionate about every area regarding your real estate, but you really maximize in being able to take care of all types of home buyers. And having a passion with first-time home buyers, I'm certified through the Washington State Housing Finance Commission, as well as you are. And it's a select group of people in our area that go through the certification and have that to where they can offer some of these amazing programs through the commission. What are you seeing? And I'd like to hear what you're using with your clients in comparison to what my clients are using as well on some of their programs.
Well, this home buying seminar, it's just so good because you go over everything. You're talking about foreclosure prevention. You're explaining the process and letting them know, what to expect. The people that go there are usually taking advantage of the Home Advantage program, which is up to 4% of your down payment. You have to have maximum income of $97,000 or less are the people that can qualify for it. And we've been partnering that up with some FHA loans, with some private PMI, some split PMI. The interest rate's a little bit higher, but what we're seeing is the monthly payments are a lot lower than if someone was to go with FHA, and plus they're getting their down payment paid for. Yeah,
it is an awesome program. There's no, there is one income limit. It can really help as well if you're over that income limit. It's the only program, down payment assistance, that the commission has ever had where you've got the ability to leave off a borrower if you don't need their income and it's not included. So it's an amazing program. And you can't use these programs unless you actually attend one of the seminars that you and I are teaching, because it has to be certified through the Washington State Housing Finance Commission. And also they've got their MCC, the tax credit. Are you seeing that your buyers are taking advantage of that 20% tax credit?
We're not seeing that as much. I know a lot of people are talking about. I mean, another good thing with Home Advantage is you don't have to be a first-time buyer. And a lot of people think these things are just for first-time home buyers. So it's been very successful so far.
Yeah, and it's awesome. The MCC you can actually use with the Home Advantage too, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's a great way to save some money. So let's also talk about you in the bio. You'd mentioned that you're a premier Zillow realtor. So what does that mean, and how is that helping in your business?
Well, last year around this time, they took 5 real estate agents in the state of Washington, and they did this beta foreclosure test. And any property that wasn't on the market, but they had public record of it being foreclosed on by a bank, they would look online, and a big shot of my mug would pop up on there, and they'd call, or I'd reach out to them and just kind of explain the process of the difference between an REO property and a short sale property.
That's awesome. And so it's been really helpful for your business, as well as for those clients that are going there to dial in and find an expert in that arena. Yeah, there's just so little inventory. I'm sure everyone's been talking about for the last 2 years, but there's so many people that are looking at these other routes, and it's been really effective. So let's also talk about, we mentioned first-time home buyers. You also put a specific marketing strategy for jumbo or high-end buyers, and you do some things being on the front of Windermere magazine. So talk about that a little. Yeah, it's actually at the front page of windermere.com. So when I have some high-end listings, I can actually advertise on the front page. So that's another big benefit to the sellers out there that have properties that need the extra marketing. I don't think any other firm can really offer the same amount of exposure by having it on the actual windermere.com front page. Yeah, and when you're getting into a jumbo market and you're getting into the $2 million, $3 million properties, it's a little different environment as far as the multiple offers, because it's not as high as demand. So any benefit and advantage that you have to market those homes for those sellers is pretty huge. Exactly. And I know that you also, Tyler, put a lot of focus on your community, your activities that you have with your community, really being able to educate what's happening in the real estate market and sharing the expertise and the wealth of information that you have. Talk about a couple things that you're doing. Well, I think it's really important to give back to the community. We're in a position where we can do really well, and giving it back to the community and volunteering our time is so important. I'm an assistant coach for Rainier Junior Rugby program, and it's 9 different high schools down kind of in the south end that we're coaching and playing across the state, so that's really fun. We do some other fun stuff at Enumclaw High School. We help out with the homecoming orientation and do some voting and everything there. That's a really fun event. So just things like that, just giving back time and volunteering. Awesome. And I also have to say that as well as me, you host your own radio show too. So I got to put a plug in for your show. It is on 1180 a.m. So it's not 570 KVI a.m., but that's okay because it's on Saturdays, different time than my show, The Money Hour. But it's really great to see someone else that's putting time and energy into educating our community. So talk a little bit about the show and what you're doing. I know the name of the show is Community Real Estate Talk Show, right?
Yeah, so the whole goal is to try and connect the community members, people that are doing projects in the area. I'm a WSU Coug alumni, so I have a lot of small business owners come on the show and talk about their companies and their visions for the companies, and then we have some real estate professionals come in there and talk. So it's been fun.
Yeah, and you've been doing it for how long, Tyler?
This weekend will be the 6th episode. So it's 1 to 2 p.m. on Saturdays, and on Sunday you can listen to the show.
And a website that they can go to? Or?
Yeah, it's clay1180am.com.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
And let's talk about most people listening in any type of business, you know that you have to have a good team surrounding you, and you're only as good as the team that actually supports you. But I think what a lot of consumers may not realize until they get involved in the transaction is as important to make sure that your external team, so this would be your lending partner, your escrow partner, your title partner, that you've really built a great, strong team that understands how you work, because you're really the one that's kind of positioning everything to make sure that it's running smoothly. Can you share some of your advice on that with my listeners?
Yeah, I just think it's really important. We always talk about if there was a perfect order, it would be future buyers go and talk to a loan officer, and then they get with the real estate agent and then start the process. Kind of back to the philosophy, don't go shopping until you know how much money you have in your wallet, right?
Yep.
I think it's very important to have a team, and so much stuff goes wrong. There was a stat last year that 50% of homes that made it into escrow actually didn't close. So a lot of that can be prevented by having a really good, strong file and a good loan officer to work with. And then title and escrow is just really important. I really like using Next Title. They have mobile signers so they can sign people inside of their homes and stuff like that. Just really smooths up the process.
Yeah, and that's really convenient, because if escrow, any of you that have gone through the home buying process, when you actually know when your signing date is going to be, is not going to happen until the very end of the closing timeline. So a lot of times it's during business hours. So if you've got a company that can do mobile and go out to you, is awesome. And on the lending side, I didn't know that stat. That is unbelievable. So basically what Tyler just said, that you're in contract. I mean, you have an offer accepted between you and the seller, or as a seller, you and the buyer, and you're in the middle of the closing timeline, which means it's going to be closing in probably about 30 days. And 50% of them strategically don't make it to the end. If that doesn't give you some urgency to make sure that you're really going and working with quality people, and that's why I'm so excited about to do the show, because everybody I have sitting in here in studio, they are strategically handpicked because they are the best experts in our local market that can really help you through that process. And what a nightmare to fall into that statistic of 50% that the sale does not get completed.
Yeah, you just have to have it all goes back to being organized and ready for stuff that's going to come up. And a lot of these agents do a good job of getting ready for that and getting it on to closing.
So Tyler, I got a minute before I got to take us to break. Any other lasting advice that you want to leave with my listeners?
Well, a big change for me in my life that really took off, helped my business take off, is if you want to increase your income, I say have a kid. It really puts everything into perspective. It makes you more efficient with your time and takes you to the next level.
That is awesome. And I totally agree, Tyler. Whenever you have, it's always, what is your why? The why has to be big enough that you're going to fight and do everything that you can to reach your great dream. And part of our dream is to financially be successful so that we can offer more to our children.
Perfect.
Tyler, thank you so much for coming in. It was such a pleasure.
Yes.
A little bit it feels different here, actually talking and asking questions to a host of his own show. So that was a lot of fun. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Tina.
Okay, coming up next on the Money Hour, the Affordable Care Act represents the most significant law or overhaul of our U.S. healthcare system since the passage of Medicare and Medicaid in 1965. How will this affect your taxes? In studio, Greg Nunn, principal from Gregory S. & Nunn Company, right after this short break on 570 KVI.